Rams fans, stop everything. We just landed a defensive superstar, but is he actually the most important piece of our puzzle? While everyone is buzzing about our massive trade for that elite edge rusher, shocking reports from around the league suggest that our acquisitions in the secondary are the real game changers for our defense. Could this unexpected take be right? Or are we overlooking the biggest addition in team history? You need to hear this inside information right now. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and comment below with your thoughts before we dive deep into this. Let's go. The Los Angeles Rams have completely overhauled their defensive identity this offseason, making aggressive moves that have shifted the entire landscape of the NFC West. The organization pulled off a monumental trade to acquire elite edge rusher Myles Garrett from the Cleveland Browns, a move that stunned the league. Yet, as the team prepares for the upcoming season, an intriguing narrative has emerged among NFL coaches and executives. While the acquisition of a two-time Defensive Player of the Year who recently shattered the single-season sack record is undeniably massive, there's a strong contingent of voices suggesting that the additions of cornerback Trent McDuffie and free agent signee Jalen Watson carry more weight for the unit. This perspective acknowledges that while Garrett provides an elite ceiling, the secondary was the clear weak point that cost the team in the NFC Championship game against the Seattle Seahawks. The Rams surrendered a staggering 346 passing yards and 3 touchdowns to Sam Darnold in that defeat, highlighting a glaring vulnerability that the front office clearly identified as the priority for the 2026 campaign. By bringing in McDuffie and Watson, the Rams are not just filling a roster hole, they are fundamentally restructuring the back end of the defense to ensure that they are no longer exposed by high-caliber passing attacks. While the sheer talent of Myles Garrett is impossible to ignore, the consensus among certain league insiders is that the transformation in the secondary provides a more holistic solution to the defensive shortcomings that plagued the team last year. As the Rams look to maximize the current championship window with Matthew Stafford, the debate over which move serves as the true catalyst for the defense continues to grow within professional football circles across the country. Ram it! The secondary was undeniably the Achilles heel for the Los Angeles Rams during the 2025 season. When analyzing why the team fell short in the NFC Championship game, the lack of talent and depth at the cornerback position stood out as the most critical failure. The defense consistently struggled to contain opposing quarterbacks, especially in the final stretch of the year. Sam Darnold's performance against the Rams stands as the most damning evidence, as he managed to throw for over 250 yards in 3 separate matchups against Los Angeles, including that pivotal postseason game. This context makes the acquisition of Trent McDuffie and the signing of Jalen Watson so vital. These aren't just depth pieces, they are strategic additions designed to raise both the floor and the ceiling of the defensive secondary. The Rams needed players capable of playing tighter at the line of scrimmage and providing versatility, something the defense had been severely lacking since the departure of Jalen Ramsey. McDuffie, in particular, brings a proven ability to perform both on the outside and in the slot, which provides defensive coordinator Chris Shula with a level of tactical flexibility he simply did not have last year. By locking down the perimeter and allowing Shula to play more aggressively in the back end, these moves directly addressed the specific issues that prevented the Rams from reaching their full potential. While Myles Garrett's arrival is a game-changer, the impact of these secondary additions cannot be overstated. They are the structural foundation upon which the rest of the defensive plan is built. The organization is betting that a fortified secondary will finally stop the bleeding that stalled their momentum in the playoffs, ensuring that Matthew Stafford's high-level offensive production is finally supported by a defense that can close out tight games effectively. Why does this matter right now for the team? The answer lies in the Rams' objective to build a complete roster that can support Matthew Stafford during his peak. For too long, the narrative surrounding the veteran quarterback has been defined by his individual excellence being undermined by defensive shortcomings, much like his time spent in Detroit. By addressing the secondary with Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson, the Rams are actively preventing a repeat of those previous frustrations. The pass rush, even without Myles Garrett, was already formidable, having recorded 251 quarterback pressures in 2025 and maintaining a strong pressure rate of 38%. The team didn't necessarily need a complete overhaul of the front, but they did need the secondary to match the intensity of the rush. Now, Chris Shula has the luxury of being more aggressive across the board. If the corners can hold up in coverage, the defensive line can pin their ears back and pursue the quarterback with even more ferocity. This synergy is exactly what the front office aimed for when orchestrating these major offseason moves. The pressure to succeed is immediate, and the team is operating with a clear mission to ensure that the defense does not let down the offense when the stakes are at their highest. Integrating McDuffie, who has already made a strong impression during OTAs by playing all over the defensive formation, is a massive step toward achieving this stability. With early reports suggesting that he looks the part and is handling his responsibilities with ease, the confidence within the coaching staff to execute a more aggressive lockdown scheme is clearly on the rise. This balance between a fearsome front and a reliable secondary is the key to the team's aspirations for the upcoming season, turning their defensive unit into a truly cohesive force on the field. While the debate over the most impactful move continues, it is impossible to discount the sheer gravitational force that Myles Garrett brings to the defense. Even if some coaches emphasize the secondary, Garrett is arguably the best defensive player in the NFL. The statistical differences are stark when comparing the Rams' pass rush metrics to what Garrett produced in Cleveland. While the Rams were productive, their average time to pressure sat at 2.7 seconds, whereas Garrett's individual time to pressure was 2.82 seconds. More importantly, Garrett recorded 31 quick pressures compared to the 19 from Verse and 15 from Byron Young. His ability to convert those pressures into sacks is a distinct advantage that the Rams have historically struggled to capitalize on. By adding a closer, the Rams have effectively raised their defensive ceiling to elite levels. An NFL executive recently noted that this specific trade could be the final piece that puts the team over the top. This reinforces the idea that while McDuffie and Watson improve the base level of the defense, Garrett provides the explosive impact needed to shift the outcome of a game in a single snap. He is the presence that forces opposing offenses to commit extra blockers, which naturally creates opportunities for the rest of the defensive front. The Rams are banking on the fact that these two distinct strategies, strengthening the secondary through McDuffie and Watson, and adding a centerpiece of destruction in Garrett, will work in tandem. It is a dual-pronged approach that seeks to eliminate the defensive lapses of 2025, while simultaneously providing the high-end talent necessary to dominate the trenches. The synergy between a disciplined backfield and a dominant edge presence is designed to create a total defensive package that no NFC opponent will want to face when the season kicks off. The transformation of the Los Angeles Rams' defense is now centered on the integration of these high-profile acquisitions. As the organization moves forward through OTAs, the focus remains on how these new pieces will coalesce. Nate Atkins of The Athletic reported that Trent McDuffie has been impressive in every setting, showing versatility that hints at a high-impact role for the season ahead. Meanwhile, the presence of Myles Garrett looms large as the team looks to leverage his skill set to overwhelm opponents. The collective goal is clear: to ensure that the defense provides the necessary support for Matthew Stafford to achieve success without the burden of inconsistent play behind him. The Rams have successfully utilized the offseason to turn a unit with a high floor into one with both a higher floor and a significantly higher ceiling. Whether the true hero of this transition is the secondary reinforcement led by McDuffie and Watson, or the headline-grabbing arrival of Garrett, the outcome remains the same: a more formidable and versatile defense. The Rams are not just reacting to last year's failures, they are proactively positioning themselves for a deep run. The coaching staff is now tasked with managing this influx of talent and creating a system where each player can thrive. As the team gears up for 2026, the skepticism from some league insiders only adds to the motivation. The Rams have the personnel, the strategy, and the drive to redefine their defensive capabilities. It is a bold move that highlights a franchise committed to winning now, utilizing every available resource to ensure that the defensive failures of the past are nothing more than a memory. By balancing the technical improvements in the secondary with the sheer force of a superstar edge rusher, Los Angeles has positioned itself to be a nightmare for any opponent throughout the upcoming campaign,